Do you like tabletop role-playing games? Do you like Magic the Gathering? If you don't, I have no idea why you clicked on this video, but if you're like me and you like both of them, then you're gonna get a kick out of this. Check this out. I created a whole system that lets you play as a wizard using Magic the Gathering cards as your spells. So here's how it works. So I had two goals when making this system. I wanted to copy the mechanics forward feel of Magic the Gathering, while still letting you do silly, funny things that tabletop role-playing games are known for. And I wanted to get a feeling of like deck building growth. As you explore the world and do cool things, you add cool cards and events into your deck based off of your adventures. So by the end of the campaign, your spell list, your magic deck, would be a reflection of everything you've done and everywhere you've gone. Like some sort of adventure deck builder. And this is going to be every rule in the game. It's pretty simple. Character creation. You're allowed to take 5 magic cards. This is your starting library. Don't worry, you'll add more. These cards have to come from a card pool that you work out with your game master, we're calling them narrators, beforehand. These starting cards will also determine your starting stats. These stats are might, alacrity, guile, intelligence, charm, your magic stats. I'm pretty clever, right? For every green card and card that adds green mana that you put into your deck, you raise your might by 1. Likewise, red raises your alacrity, black raises your guile, blue raises your intelligence, and white raises your charm. You also gain 5 stat points to distribute amongst wherever you want so that you don't have to have like a one-trick pony. Next, you get skills. The amount of skill points you get is 6 minus the number of colors in your library. Now I'm hearing you, oh, I made a 5-color deck and I don't get a billion skill points? No, you get colors or skills. Deal with it. These are the skills you can invest your points into. Finally, choose up to 2 creature types that best describe your character. It's all the actual mechanical things you need to make your character. You're done. Oh, if you want to make a changeling, it does cost 3 skill points though. With a name and backstory, and you have a full-fledged character. Check out mine. His name is Jellular Steve. He's a blue-green slime knight, seeking revenge against the Simic guild mage that made him. Post your character in the comments, I want to see them. Now that you have your character, how do you actually play the game? Well, in Dungeons & Dragons, whenever you want to do something, you roll a d20. That is not the case in this system. Whenever you want to do something, you have a dice pool. You choose your relevant magic stat, a relevant skill if you have any, and then if your creature type is relevant, you add 1 dice to that pool. That is how many 6-sided dice you roll. Everything you get that is a 4, 5, or a 6 is considered a success. You need a certain amount of successes to pass, and if you don't get enough, you fail. How do you cast spells, I hear you ask? Well, it works like Magic the Gathering. At the start of each day, you draw 7 cards. Or with 5 cards, so at the start of that day, you just draw 5 cards. You don't lose the game for having no cards in your deck. That would be a little unreasonable. Once per hour, you can attune to a land from your hand. Tuning to a land is like playing a land, but it stays for the entire day. You use this mana to cast your spells. You can cast your spells in one of 2 ways. Either you can cast them exactly as they're written on the card, or you can do something called flex cast them. When you flex cast a card, you simply describe what you want it to do and make your best argument for why it works. And the narrator will give you a difficulty that you need to roll for. Here are some examples. Do you want to use the card Speak with Beavers to speak with beavers? Well, that's difficulty 0. That's basically exactly what the card should do. So you don't gotta roll. Do you want to use the spell Rampant Growth to create a wall of vines across a door? I call that difficulty 1. You just gotta think about it a little bit. Do you want to use the enchantment Bitter Blossom to put the vines across the door? That's difficulty 2, because like, come on man. You want to use Doomblade to cut through a rope to drop a chandelier on your enemies? Difficulty 3. It specifically says on the card that it can't target artifacts. What are you talking about? Do you want to use Show and Tell to summon yourself to another plane, even just briefly? Difficulty 4. You're really pushing it now. You want to use the spell Lightning Bolt to breathe underwater? No, you can't do that. No. But with spells that you can try casting, you can also spend extra mana to reduce the difficulty. Now I hear you asking, what about permanent spells? Yeah, of course you can cast permanents. All the permanents stick around for 10 minutes at times their converted mana cost, mana value if you're a new gen. You can spend mana of the color of the spell to extend its length. 10 minutes mana spent. Non-aura enchantments come in immediately right where you cast them. The range of the enchantment is 1 kilometer per mana spent to cast the spell. Triggered and activated abilities do require line of sight with the spell, so if you're trapped in a vampire's Sanguine Bond Infinite, hide behind a rock or something. You cast auras on their target and they only affect the target. You can only have a number of enchantments out equal to your intelligence. Artifacts have a fixed range of 5 meters. Don't go giving me that look. Artifacts are some of the best spells in the game, and there's no limit to the amount of artifacts you can have, but if you want to use the equip effect of equipment, you do have to still pay for the cost. You can put it on players though. When you first summon a creature, they have summoning sickness, so they can't do anything. For the first turn you have them. The creatures are considered under your control, so you can have them do things like carry your book longings and espionage. Now it's time for the fun part, combat. Just a quick note, combat is assumed to take place on a standard grid battle map, so keep that in mind. To determine the turn order of the game, you have to roll initiative. Initiative is alacrity plus perceived surroundings, and the number of successes determines who goes first. If there's a tie, you settle it like Magic players. 2d6 high roll wins. Turn order works like Magic the Gathering. You have your untap, upkeep, draw, main, combat, second main, end step. You can do everything in this game that you can do on your main phase that you can do in Magic the Gathering. Play cards, play sorceries, play a land once per turn, but you can also move all of your creatures. Creatures can move a number of spaces equal to their converted mana cost. You can also move yourself a number of spaces equal to your alacrity, or move your creatures a number of spaces split up equal to your alacrity. So red mages will have more options in combat. Creatures can't just move anywhere. Spaces next to opposing creatures are considered blocked. Unless you have something with flying or a form of unblockability, they can't move through that space. When you enter combat, any creature that is next to each other, fight. If it's not you or one of your allies' turn, you can use your guile to move creatures a number of spaces equal to your guile. This is supposed to emulate declaring blockers and the blocking advantage. If you use a creature on your turn for combat, they become tapped. Tapped creatures can't block spaces and they can't use tap abilities. And creatures deal damage to a player. The player has the option to deal damage back equal to their might. This means that if you're a green mage, you're not defenseless even when you're on the front line. Combat ends when either one side destroys the other or both sides agree to stop fighting. At the end of combat, all non-attuned cards used go into your graveyard and they don't get shuffled back into your library. Exiled cards stay in exiled, graveyard cards stay in graveyard. How do you get your cards back, I hear you ask? Well, you need to get 8 hours of sleep uninterrupted. Once you get those 8 hours, all your graveyard cards get shuffled back into your library, and all cards in exile get put into your graveyard. Likewise, you don't heal up after combat. Whenever you get 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep, you heal 1d3 health, and you can roll charm plus medicine to heal an extra amount equal to the number of successes you get. Or you can hold on to some life gain spells. Now they're useful. And that's all of the in-game rules for this system. It's actually pretty simple once you get the hang of it. But here's, I think, the most interesting part. How do you add cards to your library? Well, I'm glad you asked. So at the end of every session, there's a table you consult to see what experience you get for the session. So, did your players participate in the session? Means they get 1 experience. Did they use a spell in a unique or interesting way? That's another experience. Did they overcome a challenge? Did they take an action that embodied one of their colors? Did they have a scene with exceptional role-playing? Did they conclude a major arc? These are the things that will get you experience in this game. And you can spend your experience like this. You can raise a stat by 1 and lower it by 1. You can add a common or uncommon card from the card pool into your collection. You can raise 1 skill by 1. You can add a rare card from the card pool into your collection. You can raise your magic stat by 1. Add a mythic card from the card pool into your collection. And obviously you start with a predefined card pool, but it should be pretty limited, because this is how you really add cards to your card pool. When you explore new lands, you have the opportunity to add that land into your collection. And when you witness new events, discover new magical items, and fight monsters, the table can vote to add those cards into the card pool that you can spend your experience to add to your collection. It's like a deck builder. So yeah, that's the game. I tried it out with some friends for a little bit, and it played something like a mixture between Dungeons and Dragons and Mage the Ascension. There's probably some pretty big balance issues. I kind of made it over the course of 2 evenings in a frantic dash to get it done ASAP. So if you see anything, please let me know in the comments. There is a doc of all of the rules that I've written up in the description. You can check it out. It's literally just the rules as an ashcan form, which means there's no flavor text. It's just the rules, nothing in between. Oh, and here is where I need your help. There are a lot of cards in Magic, and I want to put some example card pools in the rule set, and I would like your guys' help to come up with some fun starting card pools. They should be only common and uncommon cards. We'll say 10 of each color, maybe set to a specific theme or particularly interesting when it comes to, you know, tabletop role-playing and flexibility outside of combat. Other than that, hey, if you got this far, I'm sure you enjoyed the video, so please like, comment, and subscribe. I still don't understand what hyping is, but if you want to do that as well, obviously dedicate your firstborn child to me. Shout from the rooftops about this video. You know, the normal stuff. Thanks to Field Memory, as always, for the music. Check out his SoundCloud. I have exactly one other long-form video worth watching, and it's about Deltarune. So if you are interested in who I think the angel is, click to here. I don't know how this works. If you like this video, also, this is my hobby, so I have some other tabletop games that I would love to talk about. I have a Hollow Knight inspired one that plays like a platformer. I have a JoJo inspired one that lets you pull things out of your ass like a real JoJo character. I'm working on a Deltarune one, but that is ongoing. And I have a Warframe one in the works as well. So if any of those interest you, please let me know. I would love to talk about them. I'm also considering doing a just like an open play for this, just to test it out. And if that interests you, just put it in the comments. If there's, you know, interest, I'll think about it. Thank you and have a wonderful day.